Good morning. So after it is brought down the Torah, the Ten Commandments that will be received last week, Parshas Yisro, the Torah comes back and tells us, Moshe Amar Alei, go up to the mountain. Wait a second. Rashi says this was on the 4th of Sivan. So this portion in Torah doesn't belong here. Why wasn't it said in the beginning in Parshas Yisro? So he explains as follows. That Parshas Yisro speaks about God coming down on the mountain. The great revelation. The whole world was nullified. It was an awesome revelation. Everyone stopped on the tracks. Nothing moved. Birds not chirp. Nothing. God is revealing himself to the Jews. That was a great revelation. No one can deny. So we can say that the reason why it's spoken in Parshas Yisro was in Parshas Yisro. It speaks about God coming down on the mountain. In this week's Torah portion, it speaks about Moshe coming up. And therefore, Parshas Yisro speaks about the mitzvahs, about the Mizbeach, about Karbanis, certain Karbanis. It's all mitzvahs that were said when Moshe came down on the mountain, which Hashem taught him on the mountain. And then it connects with Parshas Mishpatim, because Parshas Mishpatim is also mitzvahs, which was said by Sinai. Now it comes to the Moshe Amar Alei, and also a covenant which he made with the Jews. That the Jews made a commitment that we are going to do whatever God says. And that's why in this week's Torah portion at the end it says, Na'aseh, we will do. Because this is all talking about our commitment to God. While Moshe Amar Alei, go up. And it speaks about this Perisha. And that only Moshe went up all the way on the mountain. The others stayed down. It was our commitment to God. And when we make a commitment to God, it lasts. What God makes, God comes down on the mountain did not last. That's why. As soon as Matan Torah was over, everyone could go on the mountain. There's no holiness on the mountain. Because it all came from God. And therefore, not only miracles make us do mitzvahs. We cannot let everything on God. That I did a sin, it's God. That I did this, it's God. That I did that, it's God. Everything is God. We have to make a commitment on our own to be solid. Our commitment makes the thing an existence that makes it that we made the commitment. And if you make the commitment to Hashem, it lasts longer, has more of an effect than Him pouring down on us everything. When a child takes his steps to walk, that lasts with him, and he can walk for the rest of his life. But if he never took that step on his own, we would always carry the child will never be able to walk. So the same thing here also. And that's why the Torah is in order. So Parshas Yisro, then comes the laws, everything from Hashem. That's why Mishpatim comes in continuation, Ve'ela HaMishpatim, and then the commitment to God. Now wait a second. We look in next week's Parsha, Parshas Truma. The building of the Mishkan was after the Chet HaEgel. So why are we learning about the Mishkan right now? We say everything is in order and everything is in the exact spot. Why over here is the Mishkan? Because when we make our commitment, it stays forever. And how do we instill a commitment? And the commitment with God, that is through building the Mishkan. Va'asu li mikdash. Hashem did not make the Mikdash. It's va'asu, He tells us to make the Mishkan. And the Mishkan stays forever. And that's why we could learn from these Torah portions. That before we make a commitment on our own, there's nothing to talk about. If we are not going to make the Mishkan, there's nothing to talk about. Because va'asu li mikdash, then is the v'shachanti b'seicham. We have to change. We have to make that commitment that we are going to do mitzvahs, naseh. And that's how it stays forever. And that's why the Mishkan, Maaseh de Moshe, the workmanship of Moshe Rabbeinu's hands, stay forever. The Mishkan was never destroyed. Because Maaseh de Moshe are our job, our effect. We cannot do mitzvahs. We cannot do anything unless we make the commitment. And nothing can have an everlasting effect unless we take it on. And we say Nasa. And that's why we're demanding from us in this generation that by every mitzvah we do. God doesn't do it for us. On the contrary, when we do mitzvahs, God does the mitzvah too. When we learn Torah, Hashem learns Torah. When we put on tefillin, Hashem puts on tefillin. When women light Shabbos candles, Hashem lights Shabbos candles. And that is the avodah of us now, because every mitzvah builds a Beis HaMikdash. And that's why the third Beis HaMikdash, which we are waiting for, is not just the first Beis HaMikdash which came from above, not only the second Beis HaMikdash which came only from our part, but not your part, but not Hashem with it. Therefore, even though it was our job, it lasted for much more years. The third Beis HaMikdash has both of our jobs. Our over 2,000 years that we're doing mitzvahs in Galus, building the third Beis HaMikdash, and Hashem's building also. Mikdash Hashem Kenu Yadecha, it's the masterwork of Hashem's hands too. So Be'ez Hashem, let's do one more mitzvah and do it with joy. And the Beis HaMikdash will be built with joy too. And we'll have an everlasting happiness of the third Beis HaMikdash. And it should be imminently right now. Long live our master, teacher, Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever.